So, you might not believe the title of this YouTube video, but it's true. Here's how I quit my 7-figure agency and scaled a consulting business to $70,000 a month in the last 120 days while only working 15 hours a week. In this video, I'm not doing any fancy edits. I'm actually just reading off my iPad so we can get real here. I was running a 7-figure agency and I was burnt out. Right? Clients were messaging me at all times of the night, and my phone, I don't even know where it's at right now, but my phone was the last thing that I saw before I went to bed. And the first thing that I saw when I woke up, I just had high anxiety, high stress of getting results for clients. Because one, clients were leaving each month, and which caused me to, one, focus on sales rather than the thing that I actually love doing, which is content and marketing strategy. And I felt like I was juggling too many hats. I'm sure a lot of you can kind of relate to that. And, you know, because I was focusing on client acquisition every single month, because clients were leaving, they might stay 1 to 3 months max. I found myself being not only an owner, but a glorified CSM trying to retain clients, a paid specialist, trying to get results for them. One, because they don't know how to manage their leads and sell. So I also had to become kind of a coach as well. And it was just no way to scale, right? They were leaving because they were complaining about garbage leads. They didn't book. They didn't take accountability of their own business when I'm just the marketing agency and my task is to generate leads, and a lead is just someone that you can communicate with, right? And we have systems in place to help them sell, but ultimately it's on them to sell, right? We are the marketing agency. But it was high stress, right? If anything, we were at like 30% profit, and revenue was good, quote unquote, in terms of me posting like a Stripe screenshot for other agency owners or online business owners to be like, oh, that's awesome. But the max that I would pay myself was like $10K a month. And it sounds great, but I hated every second of that. Hated every second of owning my agency because of the stress, the churn. I was literally thinking about work from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. at night, which was my working hours at the time. And if you're working that much and you're only getting paid $10K a month, it's not really worth it. You know what I mean? People make $10K a month at a normal 9 to 5 job and check out at 5 o'clock and call it good with their family. I'm working more than that with the stresses of owning an online business, when I believe when you do own an online business, it shouldn't be that lifestyle. But yet here I was experiencing that. And my wife and I would get into a lot of fights. And if you're watching this, I love you very much. But at the time, we were getting in fights because I was working too much. I was missing family events, and I was missing out on my kids growing up. And as a father of 2 kids now, that didn't sit right by me, because I got into this game to provide my family with a better life. And that also includes my time, right? The money was great on paper, but I'll be honest, that was not a way to live. So my wife and I talked about changing up the way I conduct business. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew it wasn't an agency. And I was freaking out a little bit because essentially I was giving up my livelihood for the better part of 4 years, but it's not the life that I signed up for. And I really wanted to have a consistent way of making true profit. And I almost didn't believe it was possible at one point. And, I accomplished the dream, quote unquote, of owning an online business. You can even, if you go to my Instagram and Facebook pages, you can see the screenshots of me like saying like, hey, I did this. I did 50K a month, 70K a month. You know what I mean? But it wasn't the dream that I expected at all. And people kept on asking me, Jordan, you're the man. You know what I mean? You built a successful agency. I see the Stripe screenshots, and you're getting really good at getting booked appointments in sales. And they would know because I would post literally screenshots of my calendar, again, of things that from 7 a.m. to like 3 a.m. at night. And on paper, at the time, I was like, oh, that's a banner for success, this screenshot. But really, I didn't have any time, Little did they know, though, like, when I was hurting, I was depressed. And also on the other side, too, I sucked at building systems at that time. So internally, I felt like that meme. You guys know of, it's like a dog sitting down and there's fire all around him, thinking like everything is fine, but it's not, right? So not only was like my business, at least what it felt like was, just crashing and burning all around me, even though we were making money, I was just high stress, didn't want to do it anymore. And it was not a life that I wanted to continue to, live, right? So I started looking inward, even at my own funnel, and it was not like a complicated one, right? I wasn't using automations or anything like that. Wasn't even using GHL. But yet I'm like doing all these things for clients, setting up GHL, automations, software stuff. And when things broke, I would be the one on the hook to fix that on a technical level. And I don't like doing that, right? And I had to really look inward. I'm like, whoa, I'm getting clients without using all this tech stuff. Why am I doing this for my clients? I was just using video content. Instagram, video content on Instagram, direct messages, and Calendly for myself to get high ticket clients. And at the time, we were charging like max 3K. We're above that now, but it was like around 2 to 3K a month that we were charging clients. And I didn't even use automations or GHL or anything like that. So, rather than doing everything for my agency clients, I started, picking a few of them and consulting them on content and how I acquired clients through ads and messaging. And one of my agency clients, who's a med spa, even hit $175,000 a month through kind of my consulting and my simplified process, quote unquote. And they're not using like highly technical things. They're just using predominantly content, which I was doing as well. And at the time, I didn't think I had a system, which was not the case really. When I implemented this for them, I quickly found out that I had the most simplest way, I believe, on the planet to acquire high ticket clients that really no one was really doing for local lead gen. So I started to move away from that done for you model and being classified as an all-in-one solution, and started looking more into the coaching and consulting model because, one, I love consulting and coaching these clients. It was, the stress levels were tremendously low because I was teaching them on what I did, and we were giving a better result because we were focusing on what is actually bringing in their ideal or dream clients, which is the content piece. And because I focus more on the content piece and building their personal brand, it's the thing I love to do anyway. I felt more fulfilled because I was doing what I was passionate about, and I started to actually love the business. And for anyone watching, especially if you've been in the grind for many years now, there was one point where at the agency, it felt like a job, right? And we left our 9-to-5 jobs for a reason, not to feel like work, but somewhere along the way, I lost that. And I'm willing to bet some of you watching lost that as well, somewhere along the way. And then I had a light bulb moment. What if I just consulted my clients rather than running a traditional done for you model? And I had limiting beliefs. Because I built like my agency to 7 figures running a done for you model, and my marketing and my positioning historically reflected that. But, just knowing myself, I relished in the challenge. So I set out on a mission to build a new consulting and coaching business to a 7-figure run rate in less than a year, and only working when I want. Crazy goal, I know, but And here's the thing, I didn't even think it was possible, but if you shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon. So I put together my first consulting offer since my agency helped, med spas and medical aesthetic practice owners. And to date, I've built 5 7-figure clinics through my marketing and consulting them. And at the time, I didn't even classify that as consulting. It's just that when people sign up with me, I just want to help them out, right? Grow their business. I just decided to consult them first and foremost. And I had the street cred, I had the testimonials to back this up in the industry. And my first ever consulting offer was, I'll help you create a 180-day content calendar to sell your high ticket services on your ideal or dream clients even before you say the price. And let me tell you, it worked. I closed $10,000 within the first 2 weeks of launching the offer, and it was great, right? The rush of dopamine, where it's like, oh man, this is a new offer and people want it. And I started closing high ticket because one, my funnel was on point. And remember, it was the simple funnel, not anything GHL, just sticking with content. And, people paid me high ticket for it. But here's the thing. Once we started onboarding them and actually truthfully helping them out, I was falling back into the trap of doing everything for my clients. And I don't know if it was limiting belief or I was just reverting back to what I knew, and looking back on it, it might have been me just over delivering because I wanted this to be successful really, really fast because one, it was new and I was trying to, create a life that I wanted it so bad that I would just revert back to doing everything for them. Long story short, it's still the same agency nightmare. It's still a little better, right? Because I was positioning it from a consulting perspective in the beginning, but still, that's not the life that I wanted to live, that I told my wife that I would leave behind. So needless to say, I needed some freaking help, right? So I decided to invest in a coach. And really at this time, because I stopped sales from the agency's perspective and started to focus more on consulting. And even though I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching and consulting myself, I had no business spending as much money as I did at the time to hire this coach, right? Especially since, at the time, my son, I think he just turned 1. If not, he was about to turn 1, and there was a lot going on, and I didn't need another thing taking up my time. But I did it anyway, right? Because thinking, hey, if I invest now, it'll allow me to get more time in the future. Ultimately, it did, right? Future pacing. But he showed me the basic ropes of coaching and consulting, the business model, and I learned really quick, just based on myself. And when I do invest into programs, I take the action, which I recommend you guys doing too. And he wasn't showing me how to acquire clients because that wasn't the part that I struggled with. It was the offer, the messaging, the content, the systems, the client success, and the model is where we focused on. And the model even being more so important, where we don't, in order to help out our clients scale in a way that it truly changes their lives, we can't do everything for them. Think about if you're a parent, right? Or even if you're not, maybe you've taken coaching in the past, maybe it's sports. The coach can't do it for you, right? You have to learn how to do it in order for you to be proficient and actually do something in your life that is worthwhile, right? So that's the model that we stuck to. And instead of crazy guarantees, which I thought I needed to sign clients, right? I just focused on better marketing and attracting clients who didn't need a guarantee to be successful because I was coming at it from an angle of a coach and consultant and someone who's been there and achieved what you wanted to achieve. And that was kind of the positioning that we took. And once the foundation was laid, my consulting offer, was helping my niche scale in the same way that I had with my agency. Funny enough, right? I proved it with myself. Now I'm merely coaching on where I've been, and here's how you can do it too. And ultimately, That's what people are looking for anyway, is true success, true growth, and the only way to achieve that is to actually learn how to do it, right? So in January, we did 20K, a bit of an improvement from where I was in the month before. But in terms of starting the coaching and consulting offer, but it was also this time with a better model and no crazy guarantees. And I also started to tweak the messaging and tweak the funnel until over time we got to where prospects were starting to message us. Inbound messages of people raising their hand saying, hey, I saw your content. I want to work with you. Which, if you're waking up to that, especially for me, like waking up to that was way better than waking up to checking my phone, right? And ensuring nothing was crashing and burning. So in February, we did around $34,000 in revenue. And at this point, I was super happy with the progress. I wasn't really amazed at the revenue by any means, but I had done more, profit than in my agency. And I was really happy, right? For once, I could actually see the growth in my bank account as opposed to, hey, I made all this money on my Stripe account. Now I have to pay, all my team members, ads, software and all that. I could actually pay myself more than like 10K, which is great, right? But here's the deal. I didn't know if I would still get to like the 7-figure mark or 7-figure run rate. I still had a limiting belief on whether or not this business model would work, right? Because it's so different than what I've done before in the past. Even though I've built a 7-figure agency, it was the done for you model, right? And I had this belief that I couldn't become the person capable of running a business that I loved while only working what I wanted, while also scaling to new heights, right? In essence, like a 7-figure run rate. But I took it as a challenge, and I challenged myself to become the person capable of doing it. And I figured there was really only two options, right? Stay stuck at where I'm at, or become the man who can build a $1 million business while only working when he wants and truthfully enjoying the business that he built. I know it's a concept that was hard for me to grasp, but I was up for the challenge. So I decided to let go of the outcome of, making a certain amount of revenue per month and completely let go of all of that and focused on being the best possible man that I could, right? So I started going back to the gym. I prioritized time with my family. I started reconnecting with old friends and really structuring and building the business around my life and not the other way around. For instance, when my kids got sick, I structured it in a way where, hey, if I wanted to take 2 days off, I can do that without the business crashing and burning. And not a lot of agency owners, especially lead gen owners in the space now, the ones who are posting their Stripe accounts, not a lot of them can say that. They are tied to the business. So the second I let go and just focused on doing what I can control, like the inputs and not like the results, I experienced momentous growth. And in the month of April, we hit $70,000 cash collected. And it's not quite the 7-figure mark that I wanted, but it's pretty damn close, right? And we're on track for it. And now it's not guaranteed that we'll do $1 million, as it's just the run rate. And the amount of money doesn't necessarily matter to me as much as prioritizing the man that I need to become in order to earn that. And here's the deal. Most agency owners or most online business owners, they don't even know how much they're truly paying themselves, if anything. All they're seeing is the revenue that's coming in. That's what they're excited about. And they're not even factoring in their expenses. Once I got my priorities right, my profits went from 30% to 60%, and then it's creeping up there too. So I'm allowed to pay myself more than ever before because I prioritized running and building a simple business around my lifestyle, not the other way around. And that's it. That's my story. I am on a mission to generate $1 million business, but I won't compromise my time. And I'm focusing on becoming the man that earns that while building a business that he loves, while only working when he wants, and not allowing short-term gains to affect my long-term goals. And I don't care how long it takes me. I'm building this business sustainably so I can have more time with my family and friends and be the father that my children deserve. I don't want to get bummed out on profit margins or sacrificing my time working with shitty clients that I don't even want to work with to begin with. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. If this resonated with you in some small way, please consider shooting me a follow for more tips just like this, for you to scale your online business and build a business that you truthfully love, while also getting your time back and increasing your take-home income so you can live the life that you deserve. And if you want to copy my exact strategy on what I do, the exact strategy that's allowed me to increase my income and get back my time, click the link below where I walk you through it in the next video. We'll chat soon.